Hi, this is Alicia for Real with Real Talk. I'm joined today for our new episode by Ebony Jones.
Hi.
From Jessie Skincare line. Now we know you run a wonderful business. It's a natural, cruelty-free, homemade, fair trade skin line created for the whole family.
Yes.
That's men, that's women, that's children, that's babies. Everybody's feeling good, looking good, feeling good. I'm hoping that we can really get some great tips about how we can live as beautiful as you as we go through our conversation today. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me on this new podcast where we are so excited in working with all types of business owners from around Chicago, from different backgrounds, different industries. And we're so excited because today is Retailer Day.
Yay.
So all of those retailers out there that are looking like, how do I bring my service, how do I bring my product to the market? Here is a winning example of a young lady who has a BA Arts degree. She also, a Bachelor's of Arts degree. She also has a Master's in Industrial Organizational Psychology, which is, I don't even know where to start. I really don't, Ebony. I cannot wait to hear more about you, your company, your success, and congratulations on your products. I know people are buying them. They're like going off the shelves. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Okay, well, first, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. This is an excellent opportunity. As she said, that my name is Ebony Jones, and I'm the founder of Just Eat Skincare. And Just Eat Skincare is a cruelty-free, plant-based, organic skincare line for men, women, and children. It kind of started out of necessity because my daughter had eczema, and I didn't want to keep giving her the hydrocortisone. And like most people who use hydrocortisone, it clears it up for a moment, and then the rash returns in a different spot. So we were like, when I say we, I mean my daughter and myself, we were like using the highest strength available, and it still wasn't working. So I didn't want to keep giving her the toxins and the steroids in her skin. So I just started to do my research, and I looked for effective and affordable ways to heal the skin. And I developed this body cream, which came first.
Okay.
So the cream naturally moisturizes, it naturally hydrates, and it's toxin-free, and it's made out of 100% fair trade shea butter. So our shea butter comes from a women's cooperative in Ghana. So they're paid fair for their wages, and we're doing something good for the community. It's also made out of 100% coconut oil. So I still needed something to clean her skin, and I didn't want to use the body cleansers and the creams that were on the store shelves, because most people don't realize that 26 seconds is all it takes for chemicals to enter your bloodstream from the products on the store shelves. So I developed a body scrub.
Wow.
Yes, and they're awesome. They feel amazing. They're skin softening. They make you super soft and smooth, and your skin is all nice and shiny. And
It sounds amazing. Now, I actually have the body cream moisturizer here today, which I want you ladies to go out and get. First of all, it smells amazing. And what I like about it is that it doesn't take a long time to as you put it on, it doesn't leave it greasy. It really is able to absorb into the skin. You know how sometimes you'll be in the car, especially me, ladies, and I drive a lot, and your hands, and it's winter time right now, and you're putting your body, your moisture on, and your cream and everything, and then your hands are like, and you're like, take some of this lotion, take some of this lotion. That's not that sanitary, but you know how it is. Or you're trying to like wipe it down on somewhere else. But I love it because, as you can see, there's no shine. There's no extra glisten. We're not doing the whole Jermaine Jackson pork chop look.
no.
All right, when we go out. But I want to talk about, besides the body cream, which I love, and I want buckets of this.
Awesome.
And it smells so good. Besides the shower, is there any other skincare products in your line?
Right now, we're just making the body scrub and the moisturizer. We do have plans to develop more skincare in the near future. My customers always ask me about lip balm, a lip scrub, a body wash. So we're working on it. We're testing it out. We always test it out first on our friends and family before we release it to the market, just to, get all the kinks and stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Now, I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people say, you have great skin, because I believe in mind, body, and soul as a practice, particularly for anybody, but definitely as an entrepreneur, because we have so much we have to contend with on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. Do you follow a particular regimen, or do you suggest a regimen for anyone?
Well, first and foremost, I always tell people to drink water.
Okay.
Like, water is the holy grail to everything. When people, I get questions asked all the time about skin issues, and what I didn't understand is everyone has some type of skin concern, whether it's a blemish, whether it's dry skin, whether it's just to keep their natural, beautiful glow like you. It's just
Thank you.
It's always something. So I always say water.
Okay.
And then, of course, I recommend my body scrub. You should definitely exfoliate at least 1 to 2 times a week. And the reason why you should do that is because, as you know, like, our skin is our largest organ. Mm-hmm. And with the pollutants and the toxins and stuff in the air, you need to exfoliate just to remove all of the
dead skin. So
yeah.
Our skin can breathe.
Yes.
It's about breathing, like you said, as far as making sure you drink your water. That helps to remove the toxins in your body and your skin. Like you said, is one of the organs. Mm-hmm. I want to change gears here a little bit, because I know there are a lot of retailers and people out there who are startups or who are growing their companies like you are. And I wanted to talk about some of the successes that you had along the way in building your brand. For example, your distribution.
Okay.
Can you talk about, like, maybe what were some of the things you had to go through in order to be successful for just distribution?
Well, I would recommend, the first thing I did was I took a business class. Like, I didn't have any entrepreneurial experience. My experience is psychology and human resources.
Okay.
So I really wasn't, I was selling, but it's easier to tell somebody about a position when they want the job versus to get them to take the job. Mm-hmm. So my entrepreneurship class taught me about the sales and marketing aspect of it, the just putting a plan together so you're not just flying around, loosey-goosey in it out here or whatever. Right. So that helped a lot. And then, of course, partnering with different organizations like Teamwork Inglewood, the Inglewood Quality of Life, Operation Hope, the GECDC. So just making sure that you have a team behind you that can help you be successful. And then, of course, getting licensing. You definitely got to make sure you're regulated by the city of Chicago. Everything requires a license, even if you want to sell dog collars. Like, you need a license for that.
So in doing that, that helped you, like you said, you want to make sure you put together a plan. Mm-hmm. My company, Administrative Resolution, specializes in strategic management and organizational development. Mm-hmm. So that's what a lot of companies come to us for. They don't want to take a class. They can hire us as a consulting team to do that. But what I also recommend, particularly for companies who have products, I work with a lot of different clients that really rely upon their supply chain management. Mm-hmm. And coming out of a global background and working with global companies, I know that's very important, particularly when you have an area like Ghana, where you get certain products. You talk about the fair trade. They don't realize that part of that, like you said, has to do with the regulations, has to do with tariffs, and we all know the tariffs have been very big right now in the news between American and external imports. That seems to be a topic that our president loves to talk about, that doesn't realize it affects small business people. When I talk about supply chain management, I like to look at 3 different areas, and I'm hoping that you'll chime in as well. And that's obviously sustainability.
Yes.
That's obviously timelines are really important as well. Mm-hmm. And then quality control. Yes. The reason those things are really important for just supply chain, beyond just like you said, the actual production and the sales and marketing portion of it. Can you talk a little bit about that as you were setting up your supply chain with Ghana? You don't have to tell us your channel partners, because you obviously don't want to share proprietary information. But
it took a lot of work to find a partner in Ghana that I could work with. It was a lot of believe it or not, it was a lot of miscommunication on what exactly I was looking for, and I didn't know if they would be able to ship it to me. So I just kept being persistent. I must have called over 50 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I finally got, I don't want to say lucky, but someone finally understood what I was talking about and what I wanted, and we figured out a way that it could be a partnership to benefit both of us.
Okay.
So it's always looking for not only how can it help you, but how can it help someone else.
Right.
I mean, because if we're not in business to help other people, then what are we doing?
And that's a good philosophy. As I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs on the podcast, we usually switch over into life, and to me, that's something that really goes into the experience and the life of an entrepreneur. Which is, people talk about your mission, but you're talking about ethics, and that's so important because as you build those ethics, you also start to build strategic partners, and that's what you've done here with your supply chain. But as well, it also helps you leverage resources when it becomes a win-win in negotiations.
Yes.
And so can you talk about maybe some of those relationships that you've had in which you had to build, different resources or leverage resources? I know you talked about the greater Inglewood Community Development Center that has all of those great programs. Can you talk a little bit more about how they helped you to get to this area, to this level?
Oh, sure, of course. I'm always willing to tell people what I've done and how I got here. So we'll start with first we started with Operation Hope. So I know that you're a consultant and you help people with their awesome business plans, but they were very instrumental in giving me just not a foundation, but kind of credibility. Like I was able to approach people, and I had a sales pitch, and I knew what why I was different from everyone else. And then after that, it kind of just spiraled into just going to take more classes, and then getting introduced to the GECDC, and just learning about the whole operation of how the business works itself. And then from there, I was introduced to Teamwork Inglewood, and then the Inglewood Quality of Life. Okay. So it's just networking, just being friendly, just being just open to learn and want to grow and want to meet people, and it's just
And that's important because people a lot of times they focus so much on the business that they don't realize that they are their brand. And with that, they need to reach out into the community because the community is their customers, right?
Yes.
And you're part of the community. Speaking of which, I know also you're a single mom.
I am.
And so how do you go about balancing, that as well? I know as business owners, particularly, we talked about this in a couple different episodes with women, and it always comes up because we seem to have a little bit more to carry along in our day. And so it's exciting for me because I know my mother was a businesswoman and she also was a single mom. So I could, people say, oh, I commend you. Like, well, that's what I have to do. It's basically my life. But, how do you balance some of those things when you are, for example, you travel? So, how do you balance some of those things?
Well, I have to give credit to my family and friends.
Okay.
Like, they help me tremendously in terms of if I have to travel, my daughter, she may go stay with my mom, or she may stay with her dad. And, but every day it's easier to do things during the day while she's at school. Mm-hmm. So I try to schedule all of my appointments while she's at school. And if I have to do something after hours, say when she gets out of school, I just bring her along. She's been going to business meetings. We joke about this all the time since she was like 1.5. Yeah. And this is even when I was working for corporate, because as you know, being a single mom, you always don't have a lot of reliable babysitters, and things happen. People get sick, they run late. So you have to switch gears and just make it work. So I've been quite fortunate to have bosses and work for companies that kind of understood that, and they were like, okay, yeah, she can come, and I'll just have her when she was a baby. I used to bring coloring books and okay, you stay here, you be quiet, I'll get you some snacks or whatever, and right. She kind of fades into the background. And now that she's bigger, she just listens to her phone all the time.
So I'm hearing preparation, time management. I'm hearing, that you have to really stable support system. And I'm so happy, that you have that. And I'm so happy you brought this wonderful product. I don't know if you're going to get this one back. I know you brought it.
You feel
and
free to have
I'm already
it.
ready to slide it on. And if you guys could just smell it, it's amazing. Well, thank you, Ebony Jones. Thank you so much for joining us on Real
Thank
Talk.
you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I really appreciate it. Thanks
you.
again for tuning in. We're looking forward to seeing you again on Real Talk with Alicia For Real. Thank you.
Bye.